Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Rookie Card Collector 123 video. In today's video, I'm going to do a recap of my event last night, participating in the Robert Edward auctions, which closed during the night or the early morning hours today. So I had two pickups that I ended up being the winning bidder on. And then I also was an active bidder on, I believe it was 20 other lots in the auction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through at a pretty decent pace, one by one. I'm going to cover the 20 items I was bidding on, show images of each card, and just mention briefly a couple of highlights about the item, why I was interested in it. And at the end, I'm going to show my two big pickups, which both of those combined amounts to, in over 10 years, the best auction house pickups I've had. I've rarely participated in auctions over the past decade or so. And super excited to have won these two items. Sending my payment out today, and they're usually quick about shipping once you pay for your items. So I expect I'll probably have those in hand by next week at the latest. So without further ado, I'm going to pull up the first item. Again, these are going to be the 20 items I did not win. So the first one was a 1921 Exhibits Babe Ruth. Pretty popular card. Many people will recognize the image. This one was in a PSA 3.5, so a very clean copy, no creases or anything. Very good example. 21 was the first year of the Exhibit series, and of course the Babe Ruth is the highlight in the set. These are probably the most common of all the Babe Ruth exhibits of the later years, even though the values tend to be lower. The population numbers are also much less. The 21 Ruth is by far the highest pop report exhibit for all the Ruth cards. Okay, going to pull up the next one here. Okay, this one is going to be the 1922 E120 American Caramel Ruth. This is one of the American caramels that I'm still trying to acquire. I have a couple of the others from 21, 22 from that time frame. This one has the ornate borders around the inner image. The image is reused on a couple of other American caramel cards, but without the ornate border. So I really like that on this card. This one was a PSA 3 and sold for a pretty good price. Okay, next one we're going to look at is the 1933 Gaudi. This is my favorite of the four Ruth Gaudi cards, the card number 144, the batting pose. I like this one just because it's the most colorful, really. This particular example, the colors were not as bright as some of the others. And even though it's graded a 4, the final auction price ended up being somewhat of a bargain for a 4 grade of this card. I kind of backed off of it at the end and never really was planning to go anywhere near what the typical comps are, primarily because of that lack of color, lack of bright color, sort of faded. But otherwise, a really clean, very nice, sharp example for the 33 Gaudi. These cards have really taken off in popularity over the last few years. Okay, next up we're going to look at is the 1933 Worldwide Gum. Basically the exact same image as the regular Gaudi card. This one was produced in Canada. These are much scarcer, much lower population report numbers. You can see the color on this one is quite a bit brighter than the Gaudi in the SGC4 that we just looked at. I was very much interested in this one. The bidding just got beyond what I could afford, so I had to back off of this one at the end. Okay, next up is one that you rarely ever see. I haven't seen this one come up for sale or auction in a couple of years at least. It's the 1910 M110 Sporting Life cabinet. This one is Christy Mathewson. A little bit later, we're going to look at a second card from the same set. There's only, I believe, 4 cards in the set. There might be 5, something like that. And the populations on these are very low. I'm sure they're under 10 for everybody in the set. Mathewson, of course, one of the most popular ones. I don't have a lot of Mathewson cards. I only have one, so I was really hoping to be able to pick this one up. But again, the bidding got out of my price range, so I did not get that one. Okay, next up is going to be a card that I'm very interested in acquiring. This particular example might not have been the ideal one for me, though, and that kind of kept the bidding down overall and also kept my interest from really peaking. It's got several significant creases in the card. It's a 1910 sepia postcards. It's from a set that has identical images to the novelty cutlery postcard set from that same time frame. I love this one because it pictures Ty Cobb and Honus Wagner shaking hands on the ball field. And this would have been taken before the 1909 World Series. Very iconic photo. Again, the condition kept me from pursuing this one stronger. But at the top of my want list right now. I should mention, anybody watching the video, any of these cards that I was pursuing last night and did not come up with, if anybody has any of these for sale and wants to reach out, there's always the possibility, maybe trying to make a deal. So feel free to reach out if you own any of these and are looking to possibly sell. Okay, next one we're going to look at here is actually not a card, but it's a pinback. This is the 1898 Cameo Pepsin Cy Young, 19th century item. Very few Cy Youngs from 19th century exist. Once owned an example of these. There's only 2 ever graded. I believe there's only 3 or 4 known to exist. So super rare. I ended up picking up a different Cy Young as one of my 2 pickups, so I backed off of this one at the end. But a fantastic item, a beautiful image of Young there. The contrast is great, and somebody got a really nice item with that one. Okay, next up we're going to have another Cy Young item, and this one is a REA calls it an 1880s studio cabinet card. This one was a real original photograph mounted on a cabinet card, and pictures Cy Young at the age of about 17 years old, I think, is what they dated it. Unfortunately, they tried to submit it to SGC for grading and encapsulation. SGC would not encapsulate it. It's not a cataloged card. And I was hoping this would fall through the cracks and there would not be a whole lot of interest. But up until the extended bidding started, it was looking good. The bidding was very low and I was the high bidder. But at the end, the card jumped up about 9 times what it was when the extended bidding started as far as price. And I bowed out way before that time. So interesting 1880s Cy Young, probably the earliest Cy Young card known to exist, predating any of his rookie cards. Okay, next one is going to be a little more traditional card. So this is going to be the 1909 to 11 American Caramel E90-1. Another very popular Cy Young card. This one's got a really nice bright color red background. Nice image. This one I almost was able to pick up. I believe I was the underbidder on it and did not end up winning. But really nice American Caramel Cy Young there. Okay, up next we've got a player that you don't see too many cards of at all. This one is Big Ed Delahanty, another 19th century guy. Delahanty only has a couple of cards. He's in the Old Judge set. He's in the 1894 Honest Duke Cabinet set, which is extremely rare. And then he's also in this 1895 Mayo Cut Plug series. This one is a very high grade for the Mayo set, as these are all black borders and a solid black background on the back as well. This one was a PSA 4.5, and my interest in a Delahanty is more looking for an Old Judge. So in the beginning, I put a bid in on this one just because I wanted to watch it and see where it ended up, but was never really seriously going to go after this one. But a fantastic card and a great one for 19th century collectors. Okay, so next up, we're going to get into a few Honus Wagner cards now. So this one is a 1908 Honus Wagner postcard. This is from a Pirates series. They only issued Pittsburgh Pirate players. These are known as the Vignet Pirates postcards. This one pictures Wagner in a unique pose. I don't think it appears on any other card. Very rare. Population, I believe, is in the 5 range, 5 copies or so known. And ended up selling for not a super high price. I was maybe 2 or 3 down from the underbidder. So would have liked to have it, but it was not a must-have for the collection. And lots of great stuff in the auction, so I decided to pass this one up. Okay, next up we have another Honus Wagner. This one is the E90-1 American Caramel. These are always popular. I like the throwing pose much more than the batting pose for Wagner in the set. Again, much more colorful background. And unfortunately for me, this one was too high of a grade, so I really had very little chance of getting it. And I did not, but it's an SGC 5. You can see the super sharp card. The left to right centering is off, but otherwise phenomenal item and something I'd love to have. But I would need to have it in probably a 2 or so, 1.5, 2 in that range to be able to afford it. Okay, next up, we're going to have another Honus Wagner. It's actually the exact same image. This one is the E101 Anonymous. So this was no manufacturer noted on the back, and another candy company caramel card. This one was an authentic. No description as to why it was authentic. Probably slightly trimmed on at least one of the edges, but a nice looking card. The price was fairly reasonable again on this one, but just typically I don't go after too many cards if they've been trimmed or altered at all. So decided to pass on this one. Okay, next up was my favorite of the Honus Wagner cards that were offered in the auction. This was the second of those Sporting Life cabinets, the M110s. We showed Mathewson before. This is the Wagner. Really nice condition. It was a PSA 2. Unfortunately, the price range for it just got beyond what I could afford. So I had to let this one go, but would love to have it. Sporting Life M110 from 1910 cabinet card. Okay, next up we've got the only Joe DiMaggio card that I was involved in bidding in the auction. And this one is his very first Z-Nut card. The 1933 or 34 Z-Nut batting. He also has a throwing pose. Most of these that have been graded, and there's only a very small number in the 10 range, 10 copies. Most of them are either authentic or ones. So 1.5 is actually a pretty high grade for this particular card. Unfortunately, it's got several significant creases. One crease goes right through his head. A couple of other creases, very visible also. And I just couldn't get myself to put huge money into this card, even though the rarity, even though the first DiMaggio ever produced. I decided to back out. I think it sold. I was the underbidder or the second underbidder, and decided to just let it go. Okay, next up, we're going to look at, this was the only autograph card I participated in. This was the 1934 Gaudi autographed by Jimmy Fox. Really clean, nice autograph. The card's in pretty decent shape, and very tough to get pre-war on-card autographs for the major Hall of Famers. Fox definitely falls into that category. And again, the prices started to get too big for me, and I backed out of this one about halfway through extended bidding. Yeah, next up we've got, this is going to be the last one, I believe. Oh, no, it's not the last one. Okay, this was a kind of a last-minute decision to throw in a bid or two. This is the 1946 Parade Sportive Montreal Royals team card. That was the Brooklyn Dodgers minor league team, AAA. And Jackie Robinson played on this team in 1946. Jackie Robinson has an individual card in the set, which is well into 5 figures these days. So this is the team photo that includes Jackie on there. Team photos, of course, much less prominent than the individual Jackie card. So really, I was really expecting this to go for quite a bit more than it did. I kind of was not planning to bid on it at all. But toward the end, extended bidding, it was still pretty reasonable. I put a couple of bids in, and I just decided that, this is not a must-have, and I was hoping to pick up a few other things. So decided to save the money and back off from this one. Okay, next up we have a 1927 Cuban Baseball Premium. This one pictures Babe Ruth and Rogers Hornsby. The photo was actually taken at the 1926 World Series and was produced in 27 in Cuba by Trinidad EO, which was a manufacturer. These are a population of around 10, very rare. Ruth and Hornsby on the same item is always cool. I do have a copy of this already in my collection, so this would have been a second one. And I put in a token bid mostly just to watch the auction and see where the price ended up. But, did not seriously this one up. Okay, next one up we have is a Ty Cobb. This one is a 1913 to 15 Pinkerton. This one was a blank back. I believe it was used as a postcard on the back. It had writing on it with a postage stamp. Pinkerton postcards are quite rare. There's a Wagner, there's a Mathewson, along with several other Hall of Famers. This one is the Cobb in a very interesting pose, stretching to try to catch a fly ball. And this one, again, was not a must-have for me. And with so many other great items in the auction, I decided not to pursue it too hard. Okay, next up we're going to see a. Okay, that's all as far as the items that I was bidding on and did not pick up. So now I'm going to show my two auction winnings, which I'm very excited to add to the collection. First one is going to be, I mentioned before, I picked up a Cy Young item. So this is the 1899 to 1900 Sporting News Supplement. These are very large. They're about 8.5 by 11 or so. Barely fit in the Beckett holder, which is the only grading company with a holder large enough to encapsulate them. It's got a upper left corner, a little small chip missing, and then the left border again has another small chip there. Otherwise, it's a very clean, crease-free example. A portrait of Cy Young, picturing him in his St. Louis uniform where he was in 1899. And of course, one of the all-time greats, and not too many, again, like I said before, not too many 19th century images of Cy Young out there. So I was super happy to pick this one up as one of my two pickups. And now I'm going to show the second and final pickup. And this was the one I really was happiest to get. I think I got it at a very good price. So this is the 1906 W601 Detroit Tigers team composite. It's a postcard. And the highlight of the postcard here at the bottom, where I'm pointing to, is the bottom row, second from the right, is a young Ty Cobb, actually picturing him from the 1905 season, his very first season in professional Major League Baseball. So this is the earliest Ty Cobb card. It's not considered a rookie card because it's a team card. But very similar to the 1915 Boston Red Sox postcard that has Babe Ruth, which routinely sells for six figures today. That comes a year before his 1916 Sporting News rookie. This 1906 comes before the 1907 Cobb postcard rookies individually, which include the Deach, the H.M. Taylor, and the Wolverine. He has one issue earlier than this 1906, which is the 1905. It's the exact same image of the Detroit club, and that one is on a huge oversized premium, which measures about 10 by 12 and a half or something like that. it's too big for any grading company holder. And I also have that example as well. So 1906 W601 Detroit with Cobb. This one was graded a PSA authentic. Not sure why the authentic grade. It did not seem to be trimmed. It could have just been whoever submitted it knew it was going to get a 1 because of the slight chip in the upper left corner and decided rather than have the holder say PSA 1 poor, they rather have it say PSA authentic and just leave it at that. So I believe that's what the case was with this one. But my favorite pickup from the auction, definitely this one, the Cy Young. Also very happy to own that one as well. And like a bunch of other really great items. You can't end up buying everything. So I got a chance to show you the other 20 things I bid on. And again, I'm going to do some more videos like this in the future with either auction house pickups or eBay pickups, either on a weekly basis or monthly basis, as I'm starting to change the direction of my channel more so. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys again on the next one.